Welcome, friends, to the Lorenz Showcase. It's general time. The biggest reason Lorenz flies under the radar is because we have just entered the mystical and magical land, Warp Skip Alley. 'Tis a scary place, full of flying monstrosities that not even old, reliable Parthia George can deal with. Now you could try and get 2 points of strength on George with his wonderful 20% growth. Or you could use the guy you got right before this chapter starts. Just slap the arm scroll that's been sitting in your inventory all game long. This chapter has a line of strong mounted enemies, and they trickle at you from the outsides of the formation, unless you get in their range, of course. You want to be active in clearing them though, because on turn 6 more dudes show up from the back forts and it becomes really difficult to move forward. If we deploy Lorenz on the side here, he can immediately remove one from the map. It's worth being said here that Lorenz is one of very few units who at base just doesn't die in a single round of combat to these freaks. Samson barely has enough speed to not die, but this man just eats it. Look at this clear map that Lorenz contributed significantly to. Since the boss is already dead, no enemy units are coming from these forts. So that means chapter 21 is cleared in 5 turns. 6 turns. Chapter 22, also known as Michaelis' Menagerie of Mounted Mercurial Mercenaries. These guys are stronger, but Lorenz has the strength to shoot them down. One fun tip to stop yourself from being overwhelmed is to send a juicy, high move target in the other direction, like this distracting Jägermarsch card effects. Don't forget to try and make a move up and attack the guys in the back, so that he doesn't fall behind. Look at that. Beautiful damage. George can't compete. Those 3 stats are all we really care about, so that's an ideal level. They sent in an anti-Lorenz. They respect how good he is. Don't get baited into effective weapons though. The man has 3 skill. Which is crazy, right? Usually the old experienced guy has more skill than any other stat. It's usually the only thing you see Jagan and Gunter get when they level up. If you're worried about accuracy though, remember there are save tiles. And that's what save tiles are for. He still lives though, which is crazy. It goes to show how many units in this game are on the cusp of important benchmarks, like Ogma getting 1 point of speed before chapter 9. Need I say more? We just block the forts to stop the reinforcements. I'll be right back. Now we block all the forts, for real this time. And Jagan kills the guy that's been chasing him the entire map. It's pretty funny. Turn 13, Siege. Turn 14. Welcome to the Mage chapter. This is something that even Wolf and Sedger struggle to do without warp skip help. This means the safest action for Lorenz is to one-shot the enemy. Unfortunately, he's a few points off of one-shotting the unpromoted mages. Funnily enough, with a couple energy drops, Lorenz could actually one-shot these guys with a Parthia, but we can't taint the run. Remember, the goal here is to see how much he can do with just an arm scroll, nothing else. So the best we can do is barrier. And here comes the swarm. And he's got 5% crit rate on us, and it would actually kill us in 1 attack. Now we can't enemy phase these guys because they just get fortified and physicked, but we can at least maybe kill this thief. That's pretty sad. That's about the only contribution we can do. Still get that thief XP though. Now as much as I like to see speed, his speed is basically a dump stat. It's never recovering. Now we see Longbow's ability to hit and miss. Unfortunately, having the base ring to use Gradivis doesn't mean you can really do anything with it. We can do some distracting, which keeps our carry healthy. That's the most useful thing he's done this chapter. Now, I wish there was something in here that was useful. Some way we could... Ah... See you in the next chapter. Now I know what you might be thinking. Dragons. Dragon Pike. A-rank lances. No, it's not happening. Let me show you why. If you're curious, at Lorenz's current strength, this is the amount of might his weapon would need to kill the closest mage dragon to him on the right. This is not even accounting for the ones that have higher stats and higher HP in defense that are further in the chapter. Yeah, and it's no surprise why. These guys are insane. It's not showing their Dragonstone bonuses, but Firestone gives +9 defense, Magestone gives +11. So yeah, belay that order. Do not give Lorenz the Dragon Pike. It would go against the spirit of this run to give him a Dragon Pike. But technically I could afford to give someone else a forged Dragon Killer weapon. And we could still afford the stat boosters in the secret shop as well. But we cannot give it to Lorenz. Yeah. Not happening. Now luckily we can weaken enough so Lorenz still gets to kill. The defense mountains give might be able to help him fight these snipers. Alright, generals can't go in mountains. Now, he can finish them off at least. But any of these guys here could do that. Alright, we'll save tile one Dragon Pike kill just to say we did it. Now for this chapter, we have a Swarm Mage to bait out, which we can deploy our distracting Jägermarsch effects again. Now unfortunately, the Swarm Mage brought his friends with us, but we have a bow and a board. Don't worry, it was part of the plan. And that dragon still one-rounds him. Good level. That dragon now exact damages him. And now, Lorenz is officially done. Only the super carry can kill Medius at this point. yeah, you need insane bulk or a class that gets 27 speed if you want to do anything to this guy. But what if we just killed him with Lorenz? Funnily enough, with this final level, he could now survive a single round of combat with that fire dragon. For the verdict! While it was funny that Lorenz could actually survive a round of combat with many enemy types, even at base in some cases, is quite good, I must acknowledge that having him last hit enemies for those level ups was favoritism. But the only other units who could also last hit them were guys I invested in. They were deployed that chapter after all, which does at least give some credit to his base strength. As we covered, his accuracy is quite bad, but his weapon rank bonuses and the ranks themselves letting him use accurate silver weaponry allow him to mostly bypass this as long as you aren't memeing enough to give him an unforged effective weapon, which we saw in action. People talk about how useless this guy is, but his bases hold surprisingly well compared to his peers. The main issue is that he, like I said, is the gatekeeper to Warp Skip Alley, the part of the game where people give up on the difficulty and magically teleport to the end, looking back at nothing. Now, he still isn't winning any major awards in the last 3 chapters of the game, but I honestly think chapter 21 and 22 are his strongest points. Being a unit who can shoot down Dracos with his base strength is nothing to shake a stick at, and getting the other archers to that benchmark is quite difficult. As I said, George needs 2 strength level ups for chapter 21 and 3 for 22 at that 20% growth rate, which is not easy for him to get. And the other unpromoted lads have an even longer way to go. Last thing they bring up is the arm scroll, the thing I think most people would have a hard time justifying giving to him. I personally believe that the arm scroll has no set home. The one I have heard with the most weight to it is giving the thing to Minerva so she can use Rider's Bane with her 10 move flying. That is quite nice on paper, but by the time you get her it's pretty redundant, because you have more than you need at this point. Squads of cavaliers mainly come in 4s, and you have units who hit C rank lances pretty quickly, and many of them who just have it at base. If you are dying for Rider's Bane users, even Midia can help you out while Minerva keeps busy hammering armor knights or one-shotting a mage or 2. So who else really needs +1 to their weapon rank at this time of the game? Only other person I recommend is Catria, if she is your endgame carry plan, so she can use Gradivis by the time you get it. In short, Lorenz can do things that other filler units can't, but his usefulness depends on how you play the game. If you have any rule set or play style that makes chapter 20 not the final map of the game, give this unit a try.